Well, welcome to 2014. Depending on when you're viewing this, I'm creating this before the new year has turned over. You may be already in the midst of it. Hopefully you have listened to my other videos about 2012 and 2013, and I thought it would be appropriate if I created something for 2014 and over the next few years as the changes on the planet take place. This is a big deal. Time is something that we as humans have created, and it's very, very linear. So year after year, as we examine it in this manner, it helps us to understand more of what is actually happening behind the scenes, what is actually happening in that multi-dimensional universe that goes beyond this physical 3D world. Whew, that is a mouthful, huh? Okay, basically what I'm saying is, as we continue to move forward, the frequency on the planet is rising even more. Hopefully, like I said, please listen to my 2013 video. It explains everything that had taken place since the collapse of 2008. And as we make I'm going to pick up kind of where we left off there so as not to repeat myself. So hopefully this will be a much shorter video for you. But 2014 takes us up in the chakras. Remember, we were making the journey up the chakras. We're going to be in the throat chakra. The throat chakra is all about your center of will. Speaking your truth. And it just happens to be an election year. Oh, that's going to be fun. So what we're going to actually have as the completing of this energy as it rises up from the base chakra up, what we're actually going to have is more of an energy that's going to be in front of your face of pushing you in a direction that's more positive for you. And basically the question is, what do you really want? Because it's going to be there. It's going to be that continuous. The angels are asking you. We are in this higher frequency. The energy between the physical world and the spiritual world is literally, we're dancing between dimensions. Your thoughts are constantly creating your life. So if you're really, really, really in a negative mode, more negativity is going to come to you. If you're finding your way in the spiritual realm, making your way on that spiritual journey, focus on the joy. I talked about this in my other video of 2013, and now as we go into 2014, this is activated. Your throat chakra. Speak your truth to yourself at the very least. You don't necessarily have to tell your boss that he's a jerk, or your spouse for that matter. But at least admit it to yourself. Because being in integrity with ourselves, being able to speak and tell ourselves what it is that we really want, instead of living in mediocre, or instead of living and settling, or thinking that you can't have it all, 2014 is going to put it right in front of you that you can have it all. And it is important for us to be able to embrace this energy, to live in that higher frequency, because the shifts are happening constantly. Okay, let me put this together a little bit more clearly. The planet itself is vibrating. I know I talked about this before, and time is going by faster, even though a minute is still a minute and an hour is still an hour. But because the planet is vibrating faster, because people have embraced the higher energy, because more and more people are caring for themselves, that they're not settling, that they are at least working on being in integrity with themselves. It's very, very important for us to realize that this energy is going to continue to rise up. Why do you think there's so much chaos? Why do you think people are so pissed off? Irritated, angry, depressed, anxiety-ridden? This frequency is literally, here it's like this, beating against them and irritating them. You know people like that. How we function in this energy is up to us as individuals. First of all, you got to quit trying to save your neighbor. Quit trying to save your relative. I know some of this is a repeat, but I really, really, really want you to get it. It is not your job to save the world. Ta-da! You got your get out of jail free card. It is not your job to save your children, your neighbor, your best friend. Unfortunately, you cannot, because everybody has to make this spiritual journey in their own way. Your job is to carry the energy. Your job is to be at that highest frequency available, right? Way up here, not in the middle, mediocre, not down here where everything sucks. I want you to be up here, because up here, you can see way up here, is where the energy flows. Love, joy, peace, prosperity, and health. If you can carry that energy, if you can understand the spirituality, if you can understand the law of attraction and embrace that in your life, focus on, let that be your focus instead of saving the world or saving your neighbor or saving your husband. Let your focus be love, joy, peace, prosperity, and health. Because when you have that, okay, you literally will radiate. Okay? Your energy will radiate. It'll be in your aura. And that energy goes out into the world, and it gives other people permission to have joy. It gives other people permission to have that higher frequency. It changes the energy in your home. It changes the energy and relationship with your friends. It changes the energy at your job. So if you just focus on yourself, focus on embracing the higher frequency, focus on having fun in 2014, and instead of complaining about what isn't working, instead of complaining that you don't make enough money or you hate your job or the relationship isn't good, whatever it is that life sends us, the challenge here is to understand that you created that somehow. That uncomfortable situation is brought into your life because you are a magnet. That uncomfortable situation in your life has been brought there to give you an aha moment, to help you have a realization of who you really are and what you really want. So it's very, very important to focus on the positive instead of the negative. 2014 is going to bring challenges in respect that not only is your throat chakra opening up, and not only are you discovering what your will is, what your truth is, so is everybody else. And some people are really going to be fighting against this. They're really going to not want to deal with their own stuff. So instead, they're going to point fingers at you, or they're going to be angry at you because, or the president, or politics. It's an election year. It's going to be crazy. I'll warn you. And when they do that, when people do that, then they don't have to deal with their own stuff. I encourage you to deal with yours. I encourage you to release whatever fears that you have. Just ask the angels and tell them, I choose to release my fears. I choose to go into 2014, or if I'm in 2014, depending on when you're listening to this video. If you're in 2014 and you've already recognized this very chaotic energy, it's not too late. It's not too late. In any given moment, you can change the path that you are on. Focus on what you want. Think about what your truth is. I got to share with you, when I was a little girl, I would always get sore throats. Always had a sore throat. Always had a sore throat. Always had a sore throat. My childhood, if you haven't read my book, or if you're not familiar with me, my book. Might as well give it a plug. Here it is. 8 Keys, Special Delivery Message from the Angels, is not only my life story, but it also gives you 8 keys, 8 steps on how to increase your spirituality. It's a very easy read, but and so you may enjoy it. You can just go to my website. But anyway, my childhood was sexual, physical, emotional abuse. So things were happening to me. I was this victim even as a little girl. It's like you have victim written across your forehead. And so there was no, I had no voice. All the decisions were made for me. I had no voice in the abuse that was being given to me. And so what happens when your center of will is clogged, you get sore throats. I don't get sore throats anymore because I am willing to set my boundaries and speak my will and speak my truth. And I am willing to take a look at myself and examine myself and say, wow, I'm afraid of this. Why am I afraid? Angels, help me. Everything happens here with you. Whatever is going on in your life. And 2014 is going to magnify that, because if you are out of integrity, remember 2012, that was heart chakra? Heart chakra was about being in integrity with yourself. Now we have to speak our truth. This is the same thing, only it's amplified because the frequency is higher, because we're rising up. Everything from the heart chakra down is all about the physical world. Everything from the heart chakra up is about the spiritual world, your connection to spirit, speaking your truth about who you really are. You're a spiritual being in a physical body. This does not have to be painful. Your life does not have to be difficult. You don't have to have problems or negativity in your life. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go through that. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Focus on what you want. Don't be afraid to declare your truth. I don't like the relationship I'm in. Now, like I said, you don't have to tell your spouse or your partner or whatever, but speak the truth to yourself and say, okay, I don't like the relationship I'm in. I don't like my job. I choose to live elsewhere. This situation doesn't make me happy. Speak it. Because when you put it out into the open, when you declare it into the open, it dissipates, and the universe says, what do you want? All of a sudden, you're going to feel yourself relaxed. You're not going to have as much stress as you had before because you're speaking truth. You're not trying to hide from it. And the problem with our society, because it was the way I was raised, and probably the way many of you were raised, the problem with our society is that we're not supposed to speak our truth. We're supposed to settle. We're supposed to do what we are told. We're supposed to be, I guess, unhappy. It's all about victimhood, martyrdom, and self-sacrifice. That's not your spiritual life. That's the discontentment that you have. Don't be afraid to speak your truth and then say, okay, angels, send me another relationship. I want another job where I can have fun. I want to live near the water. I am ready to allow these changes to come into my life. And then I'm going to believe, I'm going to trust, I'm going to detach on how that comes to me. Because this higher frequency, your turnaround time, is very, 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 very quick. And the good news is, I love this part, is that no matter what negative thoughts you have had today or in this moment, can be null and void by just focusing on and feeling the joy of having and being exactly who you want to be, having exactly what you want. That's what 2014 is bringing to you. That's what 2014 is bringing for you. Oh, we're going to have the usual weather problems. We're going to have this, we're going to have that. But this is your spiritual growth. This is your spiritual movement forward. This is how we get to divine energy on the planet. And no matter what anybody else is doing, no matter what the politics are, no matter what the economy is, I need you to understand that you can create your ideal life. So get on with it. I'm not. Get on with it. Create your ideal life. I love it. Absolutely love it. All righty. Now I'm done.